Welcome back. Here we are again at the Crack the Code podcast. And we're back again with our friend Kim Mallory. Kim was on episode 1, and she was sharing a little bit of the mindset from some of her health issues that she's had over the last few years. So, Kim is a coach, an author, an educator, and in the field of holistic wellness and vibrational healing, because she's been through an amazing journey and she's going to share a little bit more in depth about that today. So welcome back, Kim.
Thank you for having me, Cora.
Yeah, I just am amazed at all that you've gone through, because I met you just recently before your health issues started, and
Mhm.
following through. I just think you're an amazingly brave woman, and you have so much to share with others. So I'm looking forward to you sharing, where you've been, where you're going, and
Yes.
hearing some more of your tales. So
Well,
take it away.
I'm excited to be here. I feel like I've been given a second chance because I do have work to do in this field of holistic wellness, and I've learned how important it is to be able to, scan your body for stress and make sure that you can take um, the actions that you need to take to clear your energy centers so that you're not living in a state of high anxiety day in and day out, because I'm pretty sure that's what caused my illness.
Mm. And I
So,
think we don't always look after our health. So it's so important to know your body and the signs, and know when to seek help and more help if they're not giving you the answers you want.
yes, exactly.
So, yeah, maybe you can tell us a little bit about that part.
So, I was, I'll talk about how I kind of knew that I was sick.
Mm,
It happened just randomly. I was I knew I was tired, but I was working long hours. I was a realtor, and we were running around doing what we do for hours and hours every day. And I also had just come through a period of stress dealing with teenagers, raising 3 girls, and so there was a lot of stress associated with that. Um, I noticed that I had some bruises on my knees, and I thought, oh, that's kind of weird. And then I got some red spots on my legs, and I started. I googled it, and Google said, "Well, you either have a heat rash or leukemia." And I'm like, "Okay, well, it's dead of winter, so it's not a heat rash." So I canceled all my appointments, went to the lab, and got a blood test. And 5 hours later, I got a phone call, and they said, "You need to go to Emerge right now, straight to Emerge." And I looked at my husband, and I'm like, "This is not good. Like, what the hell?" So we went to Emerge, got in there. They whisked me into like isolation, gave me a mask. There was no COVID, but I had to
mm,
have a mask. And yeah, we just got, they drained me of all my blood, basically. I just remember sitting there, and I'm like, holy cow, like what's going on? I felt like I was just floating outside my body. And honestly, I was the least likely candidate to get a serious illness. Um, I've been annoying family and friends for years with my perfect eating, organics, exercise, and using natural products, harping on everyone that I love to do the same. And, you know, I was having a hard time remembering things, and I thought, well, I'm not a spring chicken. But yeah, after getting that phone call, it was basically a series of events that what I believe put me on my journey, and the trajectory that really saved me from my life. if
Yeah.
that makes any sense.
Yeah. It's amazing what I mean, some people really have to go through something to really find their path, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And yeah, this was my something that I had to go through. So I was in our local emerge for 3 days while they were trying to figure out how I could get bone marrow biopsy. Um, I needed it right away so they could figure out what was going on with me, but they couldn't get me in until Monday type thing, and it was Friday. And I knew by the look on my doctor's face that I didn't have until Monday. Like, we needed it now. So my doctor pulled some strings and she got me into BGH, and off I went in an ambulance, and I ended up on the bone marrow leukemia ward. It was a transplant ward, not really knowing like what was happening. And they gave me my studio apartment. I was on the 15th floor, had pretty good views, you know. Um, and then I was diagnosed with what they call aplastic anemia. Mine was very severe aplastic anemia, which is basically bone marrow failure.
Wow.
And yeah, I just had to deal with it. They that first stint in the hospital, they tried to jumpstart my system, and it kind of gave partial results, but not enough to really sustain. I had to have blood transfusions weekly, probably 2 a week, of platelets and red blood so that I could live. So really, when people are donating blood, like, they are saving lives every time.
Yeah.
And
Just so people know too, we're in the Vancouver area in Canada, in case they're wondering, because some of the listeners might be from the US and not familiar with how the medical system works
yeah,
here.
yeah, we're very lucky in Canada for our medical system. I call myself the $1 million woman because I'm sure it costs that much. And you know what? We don't have to, we don't get a bill for that. It's all paid for by our government. So yeah, we're very, very lucky. Yeah, so uh being diagnosed and just getting the partial results, we had to hang out in Vancouver, which we ended up moving there because it was something that the illness is so serious that, I could have caught a common cold and that would take you out because you have no immune system. So they wanted me close to the hospital, and we ended up in a Yaletown apartment by the seawall. So it was really cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, we lived there for 16 months. And yeah, it's been a long journey. And I had a bone marrow transplant a year and a half ago. I'm still in like recovery mode a little bit, but not as bad as it was. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was a long haul.
Yeah. And in case people haven't, listeners haven't been paying or didn't hear the first episode that Kim was in, she did talk a lot about mindset and how she maintained her positivity, because Kim was so positive through this whole journey. And not everybody is capable of doing that. But when you can, it's amazing the results you can get.
Yeah. I knew that I couldn't change anything. Like, it seriously, it is what it is. Like, you know, I just, and I didn't want to live in fear. I didn't want to be angry. And I really had to work at healing my emotions, because you would just feel sick to your stomach every day, all day. And I don't want to feel like that, you
Mhm.
know? And through rituals and meditation, I was able to calm my mind, um, to the point where I I had no fear. And I also wasn't, you know, I also wasn't shy about getting help when I needed it.
Yeah.
So, like I'm not too proud. Like I'm losing it here, so I need help. And you have to acknowledge that, when you're having these moments, like sometimes you can't deal with it all by yourself.
Mhm. I love how in the first episode you mentioned that you asked people to send you energy at specific times of the day for your meditation, and you could really feel the power of those energetic thoughts to help you along on your journey.
Yes, yeah, yes. I did a lot of meditating. I also had hypnotherapy several times, and I did reach out for counseling. There was a period where I did get very angry, and I was very upset, and I felt very guilty because I put my whole family into turmoil, and I have girls, and I had a brand new grandbaby that I couldn't see, and it was really like hard to get by that anger. But knowing that I was going in for a bone marrow transplant, I wanted to deal with it. And yeah, so I did that through, you know,
And keeping in mind, all of this happened during COVID on top of everything else. You
yeah,
know, if it wasn't
yeah.
hard enough on any other time to actually be going through it when, people weren't into being able to visit people and all of that too.
No, I couldn't have visitors, and I know what it feels like to be a monk, and I know why
Mm.
they do it, because it's awesome. Not It's awesome just being with yourself and learning to like settle in and just be, and that can be hard to do when you're surrounded by a lot of chaos, right? So,
Yeah.
you
Well, in
know,
everyday life where we're
everyday
bombarded
life.
with information and everything with phones, all day, every day. So it is hard. I can see why people say it's difficult just to take a few minutes to unwind and meditate when we're just bombarded with
Yeah.
stuff all
So
day.
when I got sick, I had to post it to my community. I had clients, friends, family, tons of Facebook friends, and I didn't want to. I wasn't going to be present, put it that way, because I had
Yeah.
healing to
Yeah.
do. So I made a post on my Facebook, and it reads like this. So I'm in VGH for the long haul. I have aplastic anemia, and I start treatment tomorrow. I will need to stay close to the hospital, which means I finally get that apartment near the city that I've always wished for. I'm going to be taking off 6 months to get better, and I officially declare myself a princess, and I will do nothing but allow people to take care of me. So you may now refer to me as Princess Kim. My phone is muted, but I do read the messages and respond on princess time. I'm taking all positive thoughts and prayers. I cannot take visitors as my immune system is down. If you want to help, please donate blood and get on the list to become a stem cell bone marrow donor. Feel good comments only. I'm not looking for sympathy, just love and support.
Yeah.
And, that was my way of just unplugging.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember reading that post.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the time. Yeah.
Yeah. And, we all need to unplug. And now I have learned to unplug before I get ill. So when I feel my body getting tense, I work it. And we have our energy system called the chakras. And that system can tell you, where your problems are in your body. And there are ways that we can clear those systems, those energy centers. And,
Well,
I work on that every day. It's not a one-off.
yeah.
We need to do our self-care every day.
Yeah. The cool thing
So
is there's so many methods. Maybe you can give everybody a little snippet of sort of how that works with clearing a chakra.
yeah, so first you have to figure out which chakra is blocked, okay? And each chakra is connected to and governs a part of your body. So for instance, your solar plexus is your gut and your stomach. And when you feel that tightness in your gut, that's telling you that your energy center is blocked. So there are a multitude of ways to clear that energy center. And I usually start with sound frequencies. So I actually just got a set of sound bowls,
Mm.
and every chakra is there's a sound frequency that matches each chakra. So the lower chakras have a lower sound frequency, the higher chakras have a higher sound frequency, and the notes of A, B, C, D, E, F, G type thing. And so I'll start there with like turning on, if you go to Spotify and you go to Bliss Holistic, you can see the sound frequencies for each chakra, and you can actually play them on Spotify.
Oh, cool.
So, I'll play them in the car, I'll play them in my office. Again, I'll like sage the negative energy off of myself, out of my office. I walk a lot. You have to stay very active. You know, go out into the garden with bare feet, walk in the grass, walk in the dirt, like just connect to the earth and get grounded, pull that energy up, or release if you've got to release energy. If you need to release energy, go for a run, go for a bike ride. If you're just vibrating,
Mm.
do something that's going to get that out.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean,
Awesome.
I will measure my chakras using a pendulum, or I'll use my tarot cards, and they have the chakras in them, and they'll show up. The cards never lie. I used the
Interesting.
cards a lot when I was ill. Every day I would pull 3 cards, and I knew I was going to be okay.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
awesome. There's so
yeah,
many techniques, traditional methods and holistic methods for keeping us healthy, physically and emotionally. It's nice when we can get everything working together.
it is.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
happy to share it. And I mean, it's amazing where you are now. You're obviously not working in real estate anymore. You've done a total shift. What are you up to now?
So I have been working towards a holistic wellness certificate for the last year, and so that's done. And so I've just had such a wonderful journey, just delving deeper into holistic wellness. And you know, after I got out of the hospital and I got home after the bone marrow transplant, I was okay, but in November, we had the floods out in Chilliwack, and it was scary to
Yeah.
me, and I'm sure a lot of other people. There was a lot going on, and all of a sudden, this horrible anxiety kicked in, and I'm like, okay, I need help. Like, this is not good. I don't want to stress my body. Like, I'm always afraid I'm going to break my transplant if I'm stressed, because I'm quite convinced that's what caused my illness. And yeah, so I called my doctors, and they're gonna refer me to a psychiatrist, and I'm like, okay, whatever it takes, like, because I can't handle this. And it took 4 months for the psychiatrist to call me back.
Mm.
And in that period of time, through the studies that I was doing in the holistic wellness field, I managed to get rid of all my anxiety, all the PTSD, everything. So I'm a believer. I know this works, and I've been through a lot, and I've come out on the other side, and I have the tools and the knowledge to heal myself
Yeah. And
and
now
others.
help others now. Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming here and sharing your story with us today, because I am for sure certain that you're going to be inspiring somebody today to think in a different way and to look for other opportunities in a situation that might feel like it's impossible. So
Mhm.
it is possible. So how do people get in touch with you if they're wanting to connect with you? I know you have a Facebook group.
I have a Facebook group called Bliss Out with Kim Mallory, and a page with the same name. My website is blissholistic.ca. And yeah, you can connect with me through any of those modalities and send me
And
an
some tools. You said
message.
you had some tools for chakras.
I do have, I've got some chakra cards for a gift to your listeners, and that can be downloaded.
And would that be from your website, or would we give that somewhere else? We can put it in the show notes. You can let me know. We can
Yeah,
decide how
I'll
to
put
do
it
it
in
on
the
there.
show notes for you. Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's a
perfect.
really good way to be able to assess what your issues are, where your imbalances might be, and how to clear those blocked
Awesome.
chakras. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Kim, for joining us today. I'm sure you're going to be an amazing inspiration for other women out there that are struggling with health issues, to know that there is hope on the other side. Don't stop looking for it.
That's right. And
Yeah,
stay positive.
great. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Cora.